Hello and welcome to all of you joining us for this session at Retail Revival, the Digital First Festival for marketers, e-commerce and digital leaders. Today's presentation is titled Riding the Wave of Customer Loyalty with AI-Powered Marketing. Today's session is looking into how both Australian surf brand City Beach and California-based swimwear store JOLYN are riding the wave of customer loyalty through fine-tuning their email and mastering their lifecycle marketing. We have an amazing lineup today, and I'm pleased to introduce our first guest speaker all the way from California's sunny coast, Kelly Ringel, Digital Marketing Coordinator for JOLYN. Kelly focuses her efforts on customer retention through email marketing, SMS marketing, and JOLYN's loyalty program. Welcome, Kelly, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Our second guest speaker is our very own Aussie client, Lara Donnelly, Customer Lifecycle Manager for City Beach. With a passion for data and AI technology, Lara brings 8 years of marketing experience to City Beach, where she handles their end-to-end email marketing. Welcome, Lara.
Thank you for having me.
And to introduce myself, I'm Sunali Bhandula. I'm Senior Client Success Manager here at Emarsys. We have a lot of great content to cover, so without further ado, we're going to dive into City Beach and JOLYN's journey on riding the wave of customer loyalty with AI-powered marketing. So first question for the panel. City Beach is Australia's biggest surf, skate and street fashion retailer, and JOLYN is headquartered in California and sells women's competitive swimwear and activewear. Tell us a little bit about the customer personas for each of your brands and the challenges of marketing to those particular groups. Kelly, would you like to go first?
Yeah, definitely. Our customer is primarily a swimmer or just an active woman. Our customer usually ranges from 13 to 22 years old. And what we've learned is that age range cares a lot about social issues and wants to make sure that the brands that they're purchasing from have similar social views and are doing things to make the world a better place. So we really have to be conscious of that and make sure that we're connecting with them on those levels, as well as selling our products at the same time. The hard part is we also have the 45 to 60-year-old customer who is usually purchasing for their daughters or granddaughters. So we have to make sure that all of our marketing doesn't offend anyone in that age range, because those views tend to be a little different. So it's not easy, but we just have to be very thoughtful and make sure that we're thinking like each group. So, yeah.
Awesome, that's really interesting. And it sounds like it makes your conversation a little bit, you have to be a little bit conscious and in sort of being political in the way you're talking to your customers. That's really interesting. Lara, what about you?
Yeah, so I suppose for us, we're probably quite similar to JOLYN, but I suppose in regards to, we stock a lot of different brands. So I suppose they already have, their own branding and their own views and their own sort of strategies in place. So I think trying to align and make sure that we aren't doing anything from our brand to sort of affect their brand. I find that, yeah, that's quite difficult for us. The other thing, I suppose, is, we have quite a vast variety of customers, so ranging from toddlers up to adults. But I suppose a lot of our content is more targeted towards more that teenager up to the young adult market. And, being in the fast fashion industry, we're constantly trying to keep up with, the fashion trends. So we've got a lot of product that's actually moving quite quickly. So for us to try and keep up with, marketing those new products that are coming in and creating that content for all those different types of, customers that we have is, probably our biggest challenge, to be honest. It's just quite difficult to create that content really quickly and making sure that it's relevant to, all of our different types of customers. So that's probably our biggest challenge at City Beach.
Yeah, that does sound challenging. It sounds like there's a lot of things for you to be conscious about when you're engaging your customers. I'm interested in understanding what life was like for your respective marketing teams pre-Emarsys. Kelly, I know a big challenge for your team was limited resource. How did that affect the campaigns that you were running?
Yeah, so before we signed on with Emarsys, we had really limited analytics to work from. We didn't, like, for example, one of my favorite features in Emarsys is being able to see exactly where the customer clicked. And we didn't have that information before. So that shapes a lot of our decisions. We now know the strongest revenue potential group to target. Send time optimization is another favorite of mine. We use that for almost every campaign. And that's actually increased our open rate by over 8%. We have way more guidance on which automation we should create next. And just overall the next steps on what works for our customer, what they like, and it just makes everyone's job easier in every channel.
Awesome, that's so good to hear, and we're gonna love some STO here at Emarsys, no doubt. Lara, I know that one of your bigger challenges was delivering one-on-one engagements to an audience of 1.4 million. How has your approach to personalization changed?
Well, I think firstly, we kind of had to go back to the basics of best practice and kind of just making sure we were enriching the customer data that we kind of already had. So, you know, doing really basic, you know, capturing first name or, you know, their shopping preferences so that, you know, we could do the basic personalization in a subject line or, you know, really utilize our content to be able to give, you know, if you're interested in menswear, you get the menswear EDM, or if you're interested in women's wear, you're getting the women's wear EDM. And then similar to at JOLYN, also utilizing all of the product recommendations as much as possible. So we put that in literally anywhere where we can put it. Yeah, we definitely try and use that as much as possible. And then probably the other thing too is we moved to more an omni-channel approach. So, you know, if we're sending an email campaign, we also want to back it up with, you know, a personalized web banner or even also, you know, displaying a Facebook ad or a Google ad to the customer so that all that kind of promotion or that offer that we've sent to them is all, you know, linked together. And then finally, probably just ensuring we have our like always on kind of campaigns. So all of our automated campaigns, you know, abandon cart, abandon browse, welcome series, retention and reactivation campaigns. So just making sure like they're always running in the background. And I think, yeah, that's definitely changed to, well, definitely different to what we used to do. So yeah, we're seeing some huge benefits from those.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. You know, really good to hear that you're engaging your customers across, you know, the omni-channel, well, the additional channels. So really good to hear that. Lara, another one for you. You've been using AI-powered campaigns over the last year or so. How has your experience and customer experience changed over time with that?
So I suppose AI actually has helped us kind of shift from that reactive marketing approach to more that proactive marketing approach. So we initially kind of had this one size fits all kind of approach. So for, you know, for defecting customers, you know, we would have them defecting at a set number of days. And, you know, we would send them a win-back campaign with, you know, an offer to purchase with us again. And then, you know, it was working for us at the beginning. And I wouldn't say like, you know, it doesn't work, because it does work. But I think we got to a point over time where, you know, it wasn't performing as well as it used to. And I think it kind of came down to the fact that, you know, we have such a large database of people and a lot of different customers, and they have all different shopping behaviors. So, you know, by the time we sent that offer to that customer, to all those customers at that set time, it was basically too late for us, or it was a lot harder for us to win them back. So like, you know, if I defected at 90 days and Kelly defects at 20 days, you know, we've kind of got the ability now to go, hey, you know, we're able to actually, I suppose, use the AI to identify which customers on a more one-to-one level are going to defect, and then trigger the communications before they actually defect and not after the fact, when it's actually a lot harder to win them back. So yeah, so I suppose like AI is actually, you know, we're actually able to use AI to deliver that actual true one-to-one customer experience. And this is now something that we, you know, not only use in our automated lifecycle campaigns, but in all of our campaigns. So I've kind of actually shifted the AI to be able to use it in our BAU, because I found it's very similar to, you know, the lifecycle campaigns. The BAU kind of over time, you can see you're getting kind of the same result or a decline. So I needed to try and do something to, I suppose, bring those results back up. And that's where AI has been able to really help come in and assist me with that. And it's been able to, you know, free up my time to be able to, you know, work on other things in the business, you know, such as projects or any, you know, any strategies and that. So yeah.
That's very cool.
We love AI.
Yeah, it sounds like other than freeing up a little bit of your time, you know, you're really, with use of AI and omni-channel effect, you're really giving very personalized experiences to your customers. So that's so cool. Kelly, do you think this is something that you would be considering for JOLYN?
After that, yeah, she just sold me on it. I mean, we're constantly looking for ways to stand out or be different than other marketing, because there's just so much out there, and you know, customers are signed up for at least 5 newsletters or texts or everything, all that kind of marketing. So it's all being thrown at them. So you really do have to be careful, and you have to make it personalized, or it won't stand out and it'll just kind of get lost in the weeds. But what I loved most about what Lara said was the win back. Like she said, not everybody's the same. Not like a 50-day win back isn't going to work on every single person. And I'm personally noticing that with ours right now. It's not performing where it used to. And I think customers change, people's spending habits change, especially with the seasons. So I think that would be a really powerful tool for us, not just with WinBack, with so many of our automations.
Yeah, certainly. Cool, thank you. So price drop is a tactic that we've only recently introduced. We know our clients that have seen some really, really great results from it. What has your experience been, and have you seen it increase conversion? Lara, should we start with you?
Yeah, so when price drop first came out, I was so excited about it. And it was basically a no-brainer for us. So mainly because we stock thousands of products. We, you know, we have so much product coming in, so much product going out. And again, being in the fast fashion industry, that's just how it is. And so we need to kind of keep up in that fast-paced environment. So I think having the ability to easily send the customer a notification when their, you know, that item that they were looking at is now dropped in price, has been, yeah, it's been a real game changer for us. And I think also another thing that I love about it is the fact that you don't have to offer them a discount or anything for it. It's like, it's automatically like I don't know, giving them a notification that, you know, that thing you love is now on sale. And I know personally, whenever I get my price drop emails from my favorite retailers, it's definitely the email that I open all the time. So yeah, it's definitely made sort of a huge difference in our customers' shopping behavior. They're shopping a lot more frequently because they are getting those notifications, and, you know, that product, you know, they can save, you know, huge money to now get that t-shirt or that jumper. So yeah, we've had some really great results across not only the conversion for price drop, but also the engagement rates as well, which I think is great to have that in the background, because it obviously helps with our deliverability overall. Yeah, so I think like our open rate is something ridiculous, like in like the 30s or 40s for price drop. So yeah, it's a really simple, really quick win that I think, yeah, that is, it's one of my favorite automated campaigns, to be honest. So yeah, we love it.
Love it. Kelly, what about you? Are you using price drop?
Yes, I completely agree with Lara. It's been amazing for us. The second we heard that we could do it, we had them set it all up for us, and it's just been such a great tool for us. Exactly what Lara was saying. We're really trying to pull back this year on discounts because we don't want to be so discount heavy. So it's just such an easy tool that works for you in the background that we don't have to touch. It adds to that personalization that we're always going for, and it works for you. And like Lara was saying, the engagement, like I pulled our engagement for it. We have a 40% open rate, 7% click-through rate, and 11% conversion rate just for that automation. It's amazing. And yeah, it's definitely my favorite automation.
Awesome. So what other tactics do you guys use across email and SMS that always seems to have customers coming back for more? We know you love price drop. What else is there, Kelly?
I would say we try to use our order confirmation texts and emails to the fullest. Within the past few months, we added product recommendations to the bottom of our order confirmation, and we've also added them to almost all of our transactional emails. It's just such an easy way to get the customer back to the site. Like maybe they'll see something that they didn't know we sold. And yeah, just getting them back in any way you can. And I doubt they're going to stay just on that one product. They're going to shop around. And especially if your site is built in a certain way, like it'll help them. But then the second one I would say surprised me the most is our post-purchase automation. We built that last year, I think around this time last year. And because we sell swimwear, there's a very particular way on how to care for it and make sure that the life of your swimwear is as long as possible. So we made a video and a blog on how to care for your swimwear, and it's very easy to read, easy to consume, and it does really well for us, and it converts. Even though that wasn't our intention, we just wanted to do it as like a nice customer experience, like, hey, we care about the swimwear you're buying. But so we've kind of taken that and we've added product recommendations to that. We've added product recommendations to the blog post. So we're really getting that to work for us more and more. But those have definitely been the two ones for us.
Nice. And I'm always amazed at how sort of, customer nurturing campaigns really do have a significant conversion rate. So it's really good to hear that both the campaigns that you're talking about are really, to nurture the customer, or, they're both post-purchase technically, and they're still getting people to come back and repurchase. So that's very cool. Lara, what about you? What's your second favorite tactic?
Well, I suppose, unfortunately, we're probably a bit behind when it comes to SMS here in Australia. It's not, I suppose, as heavily used here than it is in the States. And I think that comes down to kind of technology limitations and also the cost of it. It's very expensive to send SMS here. So we currently use SMS as more of on a batch and blast basis. So like, if we're running like a big promo, we'll send, an SMS out to our database, just because it is so expensive. And I think though we're actually in the process of actually utilizing SMS in some of our Lifecycle campaigns. So, adding in the fact that now that we can add in, that unique, that unique voucher code into an SMS with their first name, really personalized SMS in those programs. That's something that we're currently looking at setting up and trialing to see how much value it can actually add. And I think it will. I feel confident that it will add a lot of value to those campaigns. Obviously, because SMS is such a, you get really high engagement with SMS over an email. So so stay tuned. We'll be working on those over the next couple of months. So yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Lara. Australia is very behind in SMS. We're still in the batch and blast stage, but I definitely see that engagement and conversion rates are really good. Customers are definitely engaging with it. So more clients, more businesses are, putting a little bit more sort of time and effort into SMS and engaging customers that way. That's really good to hear. So what advice would you give to other marketers looking to scale their efforts and unlock true one-to-one personalization? Kelly?
Again, I would say product recommendations. Use them whenever possible. Add them to the bottom of almost every automation. Add them to ad hoc campaigns whenever you can. It helps to kind of make the customer feel like you're shopping for them. Like everyone loves suggestions or even bestsellers. Everyone likes to know what everyone else is buying. So that always just, again, gets them back to the site. And then I would say automations based on their last purchase. Try to get the cross-sell to work for you. I think that's probably one that everyone struggles with. It doesn't tend to do that well. So get creative with it, like how we did with our How to Care for Your Swimwear automation. Like that's working for us in a way that we never thought it would. So it's kind of stepping in as our biggest revenue driver as far as a cross-sell. And then I would just say, kind of, if you can, filling in campaigns that aren't so salesy, but they're still relevant to the customer, just kind of creating and building that personal connection with your customers. I think a lot of times it'll make them less annoyed with all the messaging that they're getting. And when they're going through their emails or their texts and they see sale, and it's like, it's 10 weird signs you're dehydrated. Like, I'm going to click in. That's interesting. Like, so just different ways to drive them to the site or different ways to build that personal connection with them.
Yeah, awesome. Lara, what about you? What do you think, can really help unlock the true one-to-one personalization?
I feel like everyone's going to know my answer for this one. Look, from my experience, I think definitely AI. If you've got the technology, you need to utilize it. It's going to give you immediate results and positive ROI really quickly. And that's because you are able to provide that true one-to-one personalization. And also just utilizing all of the channels that are available to you as well. I know at the start for us, we were we used only email, and once we started using the personalized web channel banners and also CRM ads, we saw a huge uplift in engagement and in conversion as well, because we were now able to display or market our customers or speak to our customers on the channel that they preferred. So if they don't want to see us on email, they'll see us on the website when they come, or they'll see us on Facebook or Google. So that's made a huge difference in terms of conversion and engagement for us as well.
Yeah, have we already said that we love AI and omnichannel effect? So what do you wish you'd learned early on in your career that you think could help young women entering the retail profession? Lara, can we start with you this time?
Sure. So I suppose for me, probably just be confident and back yourself as much as you can. I know it's a lot easier said than done. And I would probably put my experience back on the fact that I've worked with a lot of strong female leaders, not only through my marketing career, but also my entire working career. So I think a lot of those leaders have really imprinted on me and given me the confidence to really excel in my career. And I think another thing as well that helps build that confidence is also knowledge. So I think proving that you are an expert in your field is really important. So, just keep learning, really connect with, leaders that you see as a mentor or inspiration from, and just, really get into what you're passionate about. And then you'll find over time, people will really trust you and your opinions and advice, which, in turn will help build your confidence. So I think that would be my advice.
That's so good and so important. I especially love, what you said about women backing women, because that, really helps us grow together. Kelly, what about you?
I don't know how to follow that. It was very good. But I kind of, off of that, I would just say, don't be afraid to throw out ideas even if you think they're weird or crazy, because that might inspire someone else to come up with a really great idea, and you helped with that, you assisted that. I know we have weekly brainstorming sessions where we kind of think of our schedule ahead and we break out what we could do, and we all just spitball different things. And similar to what Lara's saying, is back yourself, but back others. If you're giving that positive feedback, oh, I really like that idea, you're going to get that in return. And same with just women supporting women. We're a female business, and we love to be supportive of each other, and then it makes you more comfortable to share those ideas, and that might be the next $1 million idea. You might think it's a little weird in your head, and then you say it out loud and someone's like, that's amazing. And that's such a good feeling and gives you the confidence for every other meeting that you're going to be a part of. So yeah,
that's it. Haven't we always heard crazy ideas are usually the best ones? Sweet. And final question for today's session: as you look ahead to Black Friday this year, what's your best tip for retail digital marketers as you make your plans? Lara?
Yeah, so I suppose the first one would probably be what you're offering for Black Friday. So making sure that your offer is going to stand out to your competitors, especially when literally everyone is going out with an offer for Black Friday. But I think in terms of trying to stand out in the market and, inboxes, Facebook, all of that, I think you definitely need to try and use your customer data and really using the technology that you have available, all the channels that you have available to you as much as possible. It's probably the best time to use everything, get out there. You've got all of this sort of information that you really need to try and use. So and also just try and personalize everything as much as you can. I think that's also how you can help yourself really stand out to your competitors, which again, also ensuring you have the best customer data as well to be able to do that personalization. But that would probably be my my tip for Black Friday.
Look, that's a great tip, and it's so important that you stand out because everyone's doing Black Friday. In Australia, Black Friday is a few years old. You know, we are still a smaller market. Kelly, I suspect in the US it would be significantly more competitive, and you'd have to be a lot more aggressive. So what's your top tip for Black Friday this year?
Yeah, very similar to what Lara was saying, but yeah, it's very saturated market. Everybody is receiving an email from every single brand they've ever spoken to or looked at. So you have to be unique and stand out in that inbox. Like a great call out that someone made a long time ago to me was subject line. Be very conscious of your subject line during Black Friday, because everyone is going to be receiving the same exact subject line, and they're not always going to click into every single one because some of the offers might be exactly the same. So I'd say just testing out different subject lines in the months leading up to Black Friday and seeing what kind of language or even just emojis work on your customers. So start even like 3 months out. And similar to that is just planning ahead. We like to keep very detailed logs of what we did in previous years, and we build off of that, and we have meetings kind of just deciding what our kind of shell of a plan is, and then as we get closer we kind of solidify things. But that always helps us stay organized and on track. And yeah, just be unique. That should always be the goal, but it's easier said than done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. You know, really learning from your previous experiences. But subject lines, seriously, that's the bane of our lives, isn't it? Amazing. Look, thank you both, Lara and Kelly, for the great content. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but I hope that you found the session as engaging as a viewer as we did. Also, please don't forget to sign up for more Retail Revival sessions. We have 60+ hours of content at your fingertips. I'd like to say a big thank you to our speakers, Kelly, Lara, and to you, our viewers. We're always happy to hear from you, so please feel free to contact us if any of today's content inspired you or left you with further questions. That's all from us here, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.